Welcome to the Disc Golf Prescription Podcast, your weekly dose of disc golf. Hello, and welcome to the Disc Golf Prescription Podcast. I am your host, John Nicholson. Today, I have with me Mr. Mason Ford, 2021, it is 2021 Music City Open winner.
Yeah.
Which is an Elite Series, the last ever national tour. I just thought about that.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow. How are you doing today?
Doing good. We just got over this hurricane yesterday, so it's finally nice to get out of the RV and actually go do something.
That is very true. We were scheduled for yesterday, but then we had to push it till today to do the interview. Normally, I don't say what day it is on the interview, but today is October 1st, and I figured I had to do this because
it's spooky season.
I will never do anything like that again. That's a lie. I'll totally do something like that again. But, oh gosh. Thank you for joining me on here. This is chaos already.
Thank you for being you, John.
Just out of the gate. But oh gosh, we've got a show for you today. I've written down 2 pages of notes for Mason. And Mason is one of my favorite people on tour. He's one of the nicest people on tour as well. So this will be good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Before we get into it though, please, if you are listening on a podcast app, leave a 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. I see all you people out there who have not subscribed but keep watching my videos. Subscribe, please. I appreciate it. All right. Now that the plug is over, so I start out with the really, really fun stuff for me.
Okay. Is it Zach's question?
What? No. Zach Melton does ask a question in this, though. The fun stuff for me is I'm friends with all of you guys that I've been interviewing, but I don't know like how you got started playing disc golf. I know you ran cross country, but what was your athletic background? And then how did you start playing disc golf from doing cross country or what other sports you may have done?
That is a great question. So obviously I ran cross country all throughout high school. Then my junior year, started to get into ultimate frisbee, and we would play ultimate frisbee against the other cross country teams in our district. So it just so happened to be most of us were so close that we would play ultimate, and then kind of got addicted to throwing, discs. That's all where it all started. And so I'm originally from Minnesota, and I went back for a summer, and one of my friends knew that I played ultimate frisbee. He was like, "Have you ever played disc golf?" Well, they called it froth, right? How funny is that? Like, Why would it not be froth? And so I was like, no. So he's like, okay, well, meet me here. I was like, okay, whatever. So I brought my ultimate disc to go play disc golf. I think we probably all did that the first time, right?
I've definitely done that.
For sure. So I looked like the weird kid throwing in 20-mile-an-hour winds with a lid. And everybody else is using a champion boss. It's like, okay, I can throw that thing. Let me try to throw it.
How does yours go that way?
Yeah, why does it go left? Mine rolls. So it was quite frustrating to not be able to throw. It's like, the worst starting disc ever. So, when I went back to Texas, I brought this blue max weight champion boss. Like the worst starter disc ever.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So
Anheuser Flex.
Yeah, for sure. Or like some crazy weird forehand rollers,
Yeah.
And went back. My first ever disc that I bought was a DX AVR. It was white. I had it in my bag for ever until obviously it broke. And then I had a blue Rhino, and it all started from there.
Okay. I like it. So started through Ultimate.
Yep.
Kind of. It's funny that you tell a story about playing in like 20-mile-an-hour winds with a lid, because one of my first experiences playing like a legitimate disc golf course was the week after 2016 Worlds, which I did not know at the time at all because it was in Emporia.
Oh, it was.
I was driving back from an ultimate tournament with 2 of my buddies in the car.
Okay.
And we saw a disc golf course and we played a couple times a year. And I was like, guys, we should totally stop and play. Had no idea until like a year later when I actually started playing disc golf that Worlds had just happened there. And we played Jones East with Ultimate Discs.
With lids. Oh, wow.
It was a disaster. We were like, man, this course is crazy. So yeah, that was...
Taking sevens on every hole.
I don't even want to know what scores we took on that course. But yeah, so I know a little something about that. So cross country, ultimate frisbee, got addicted to throwing a disc, started playing disc golf.
Yeah.
Okay, what year was this?
So I had to have started playing the summer of my junior year into my senior year.
Okay.
So then we would go out for runs, me and the cross country team, right? And then when we were done, I don't have anything else to do. I'm going to go play disc golf. So then after my senior year, I started my job. I worked as a vet tech there in Harlingen where I, went to high school and lived. And I was like, man, I used to see people out on the course playing all the time. And I was like, I can beat them. I know I can. So that's when it got like competitive for me, because, I've always ran and done competitive things. So it's like, I don't want to just play now, like I want to compete. Like I want to see what it's like. And I went over and introduced myself to some of the people, playing around and the locals and whatnot. I was like, dang, these guys aren't even that good, And then I'd heard of this local pro, right? His name was Chris Cortez. And they're like, oh, he's so good. He beat Yeti at Texas State's one year. And I was like, oh my goodness. I looked up who Yeti was and found out he's like a 5-time putting world champion and kind of crazy. So I played my first tournament in 2015. I'm trying to think what it was called.
I don't know, but
South Texas Shootout in Beeville.
I know you shot like a 919 or something because I looked at your rating.
Yep, that was my first ever rating. I've never shot under a 900 rated round.
I've shot one.
I got you.
And it was 899. Oh yeah, heartbreaking, right?
I think I've had a 903.
Oh goodness. It never went on my rating though. Never counted. But I did do it.
That's fair.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so that's awesome. So got started competitively in like 2015.
Yep, 2015.
Okay, so 2015 Mason Ford. What were his strengths and weaknesses, and like how have those kind of progressed over time?
I think my strength, honestly, it might have been my forehand.
Okay.
Just I felt like even to like this day, I feel like I have more forehand aces than backhand aces, like believe it or not.
Wow.
I don't know if it's because I just throw it worse now or or what it is, but I don't know. I just felt like I always had like that putter flick down,
Gotcha.
like that zone rhino kind of flick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or honestly, my weakness had to be like 20 footers. I probably made more 30 footers, 40 footers than 20 footers.
That's crazy. That's not, I mean, I didn't meet you until 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you miss a 20 footer.
I remember when I was like on my way out of advanced, I used to tell myself, on my lunch breaks, I'd go putt every afternoon on my lunch break. That's all I would do. I would just, some afternoons I wouldn't even go get lunch. I would just go putt and then go back and then come back after work. It was just my thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was like, I know if I can make these putts, I can play an open.
Okay.
So it was kind of my goal that I had,
Well, I'd say it worked out pretty well.
I'll take it.
So strengths, forehand acing. No, what backhand was a weakness at that time?
I don't remember how good it was.
Okay. I just know you for like buttery smooth backhands. So that's shocking.
I think it was probably pretty ugly then.
Okay. We need to find a video and post it.
No.
I will post
no,
that
no.
video if I can find one. Oh gosh.
Oh, I hope they're nowhere.
I hope they exist. I'll ask. Well, I guess Val wouldn't know either.
Nope.
Oh, I'll figure
I
it out.
don't even know who would have one.
Okay. Darn. Well,
Fortunate enough.
I know, right? I have some videos of when I started, I think, somewhere, and those will never see the light of day. So,
I probably looked pretty goofy too. I would just go play in my scrubs.
all right. I like it. You were a scrub. That's sick. Low-hanging fruit. All right. So we brought up your rating a little bit. And every time I look at your rating history, I creep on a lot of people's rating history, by the way.
Okay.
People who've gotten good very quickly. I look at because it's interesting to me. Yours is one of the most impressive because you didn't necessarily get good quickly. You just never stop getting good. Like, it's not shocking that right now, you're right at 1030 right now, and the highest you've ever been rated is 1033. It's not shocking, right? Is that correct?
I think it's 1034.
1034. That's my bad. 1034. It's not shocking that you're hovering right there and it's like not progressing as fast as it has because you're nearing the end of like the rating spectrum. So it goes up slower, right? But started at 919 and literally every rating update, it's just like
Point.
notching off. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It makes no sense statistically.
Until, was it earlier this year? Was my first drop in like 4 years or something like that?
It might have been. I think I only saw one. When you were in like the 980s, I think you went from like 980 something down to something
Like
else in the
1
980s. Yeah. But other than that, it's just been up and up. So that's crazy. What do you like attribute that consistent growth to?
I don't know. I feel like I've always had like a good work ethic. I feel like coming from a cross country background, it was like when I was running, obviously I wasn't the fastest ever. I wasn't like the 6A state champion or anything like that. But me as a person, I feel like I always had a really solid foundation. Whereas like if I run more miles than the person next to me, more than likely I'm going to be faster than them. So it was like if I can do more putts on my lunch break and throw in the afternoon, everybody else around me, I know I'm doing twice as much work. So like when I get into the tournament, I feel like I already had an up on them.
That's
and
fair.
especially if they know I'm working harder than them, they're already intimidated by the amount of time I've put in that they know they might not have. So
That's fair. You're not a competitive person at all.
no. No.
Just like, I will work harder than you and intimidate you and then do it while being nice the whole time.
Yeah. Kill him with kindness, John.
Absolutely. I feel like that's what happens every time you beat me. You're just like, oh, John, no, you're playing great as you're like 10 strokes ahead of me. I'm like, oh my goodness. Especially like Texas B tiers. Like,
oh my gosh.
It was like, I think I've got you in one though. But like other
Yep.
than that, it's just like, what is
I remember it.
like good. I hope you do, because I remember all the other ones. But that's awesome. I have one more along this line, and this one's more of an introspective question.
Okay.
So if you could go back in your disc golf career and change something, knowing everything you know right now, what would you change? Or would you change something?
I don't think I could change anything.
Okay,
I couldn't take away any experiences that I've been through, good or bad.
that's
I
fair.
don't think I could.
That's fair. You wouldn't change that awful backhand form you started with, apparently?
Nah. No.
You're like, no, I had to.
Maybe, that gave me the motivation to be where I'm at now.
That's fair.
I don't know. No, I don't think there's anything I can go back on.
Okay, perfect. I like that. That's committed. Very, very committed.
Straightforward.
I love it. All right, so shifting gears slightly, still disc golf. We're not getting into the non-disc golf stuff yet.
Okay.
By the way, we haven't addressed this, so this is the perfect time to address it. And both of us have done great, and we haven't done it. If you can't tell, the mics are set up in a very weird way today because this table doesn't have a lip for it to sit on right. So I was very scared of hitting this and making like guitar-like noises. I hope you can hear that well, or else we just sound crazy. So if you hear that, that's because we bumped the mic stand and it sounds like we're playing guitar poorly. So hopefully that does not happen throughout the episode. All right. Have you seen the 2023 tour schedule yet?
I peeked at it, yeah.
You peeked at it. Did you see that Music City Open is an elite series again?
I did. I was kind of surprised by it.
I'm a little surprised by it as well, but
I feel like everybody gave bad feedback about it.
yeah. Well, we played. I feel like they will just have, because I noticed you didn't play this year,
This year, yeah.
because it was a silver series, or it may have been a different scheduling issue, but it was a silver series this year. So how do you feel about going back, essentially being the elite series defending champion?
I don't know. I mean,
You're like, I haven't even thought about it.
yeah, I haven't thought about that. I don't think it's like pressure or anything like that. I think it's just something to be proud of, you know. I hope we play the same courses.
Yeah.
I mean, not so much Mill Ridge.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the one we'll play.
oh my gosh. What's the other one we played?
The one we played, funny enough, was called Cedar Hill. Not the ones in Texas.
Not the one in Texas.
But Cedar Hill. And we loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
You shot fire. Emerson shot fire. I shot fire. I think maybe Connor did too. I think maybe Bradley did too, because people were complaining. They were like, "Man, this course is janky."
Yeah,
and all
just
of us,
like Texas.
Yeah, all of us were like, "What are you talking about? This is Texas golf. This is great."
You know, I think we all shot well. I think me and Emerson were even on the lead card for like round 2.
Yeah, I got pushed off, I think, lead card on round 2 by like a PDGA number tiebreaker or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, all the Texas guys, or most of the Texas guys, played really, really well at Cedar Hill.
That's very,
which
yeah.
It was a little janky, so
That's us.
we were prepared.
Sadly enough, yep.
Awesome. Well, I just figured I would ask you about that because I wasn't sure if you saw that or not.
I
'Cause
did.
It got announced yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday.
I was very
Cool.
surprised. I didn't expect it to be an elite series.
Yeah, but it is, and honestly, they continue to work on the course, so we'll see. I'm excited either way. I didn't mind Mill Ridge at all, but it is, the rough is a little sketchy,
Yeah,
but so's Texas rough.
fair. They even had cactus.
Texas. Well, that's your area of
Yeah.
Texas. I don't have many cactus up
No?
in Dallas,
Oh yeah.
except maybe at Veterans, but I don't even think Veterans has it. I think it's just kind of dirty.
Veterans is a very janky course.
Yes, it is. Can't wait for VPO, baby. I think
Okay.
it's like the 32nd
Is it
one. Or something.
really?
It's a lot.
This. I think I played 3.
This might be my
18 night. No.
third or fourth. I don't know. Counting's hard. Counting's very difficult sometimes.
I think I've played 19, 20, 21.
So you've played 3,
I think I played 3.
and this will be your 4th.
Yeah.
You playing it this year?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Well,
We
I'll
are-
miss you.
We are very burnt out.
Tour can do that to you.
Yes, I cannot wait to go home.
That's fair. And I do not blame you whatsoever. Yeah, I still have Oklahoma Open and VPO, and then I think I'm gonna be done.
The Oklahoma
So-
Open was fun last year too.
Yeah, I love that course.
At Black Hawk.
Black Hawk
Right.
X, a lot of fun.
Always got to throw, like a random letter or number in there.
Yeah, it helps. So it could just be a random letter, or it could be Black Hawk 10, and I hope X is 10 because
Or it could be extreme.
Black Hawk Extreme. I love that course. It's great.
It is very fun though.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. All right. So, into the stuff I find even more interesting. I like asking people about their routines. Do you have any like fun routines that people maybe don't know about? Maybe like morning routines or
That's more of a Val thing.
okay,
Routines.
Val has routines.
I am like, you wake me up when you guys are like almost ready, and then I'll pop up and get ready in a snap of a finger.
Oh, Steph is smiling off in the background, like, yeah, you get ready and wake me up when it's time to go.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. What about coffee? Every time I see you guys, you have coffee. How important is that in your life?
So, I never really drank coffee before I met Val.
Okay, I was like before.
And then when I met Val, hooked immediately. oh, let's go get a coffee. Oh, let's go get a coffee. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go get coffee. And then now I am a little coffee addict. So they like, this is how big of a coffee head we are. We have a coffee pot, instant coffee, got to be quick. Or we also have an espresso machine.
Okay.
I'm
In the RV?
In the RV.
That's wild.
Mornings, they'll make a pot. Afternoons, they'll do the instant because you got to be quick. Me,
I love that.
I'm the person to where it's like, I'm going to take my time with this. We're going to make the espresso. We're going to, froth up the milk, steam it up nice. Then we can go.
Okay. So coffee's very important to your life.
For sure.
You caffeine coursing through your veins.
Yes. And then the hard crashes.
Yes, that'll happen, especially when you drink like caffeine in the morning, then you eat lunch and you're just like, I need another cup now, please. Or a Monster. I drink too much Monster. It's a problem. I should stop.
Coffee.
All right. What about like set practice routines? I know y'all all travel together. Do you have any set practice routines? Does it change week to week? What does that look like for y'all?
I think it really just depends on how we feel on the course, really. There's weeks like last year, we didn't get to events as fast as what we should have just due to traveling. And we'd show up and have a day and a half to practice it. Yeah. So we would smash 2 rounds in day 1. Day 2, it's like, oh, we'll try to play. But then, some days after you drive 15 hours and get there, it's like nothing feels the way it should. And then the next day you're so tired from driving that it's like, oh, well, practice wasn't the best. But I can say this year with the RV, getting there a little faster, a little more efficiently, I mean, we try to go hard early in the week and then kind of lay off as the week goes.
Gotcha.
That's about as routine as we get.
Okay.
We like to play mornings. We like for Maple Hill, we were going out at 7 before the tour or before the tee times were even set. And the crazy thing is, we always see Vanessa Van Dyken.
I was about to say
on like hole 8 when we're teeing off. We're like, it's barely light out.
I know.
How is she here?
I did a practice round. I can't think of what day it was. Maybe it was Wednesday of last week or no. I honestly have no idea. I think it was before the Tuesday qualifier. I got out there pretty early and Vanessa was like finishing. I was like, what time did you get here?
Talk about coffee.
Yeah. She also likes coffee. So that's perfect. Do you have any field work or putting practice, or do you mostly practice on the course?
When we're at home in the off season, or this is our first full year actually touring, and we didn't really realize how tough it is to schedule things like that. So luckily this week we're at a KOA. KOAs typically have baskets, whether it's a little 6-hole course or one basket.
Interesting.
Yeah, KOAs are the way to go. So this week, we'll all 3 kind of alternate popping out, going putting for 30 minutes, coming back, 30 minutes, coming back, just random times. Obviously not yesterday with a hurricane.
Yeah.
But when we have a basket there and it's good, nice outside, not raining, we're very good at putting, keeping, the 20-footer dialed in because it's one of the most important putts. As for field work, we try to do field work the first day of the week. So if we get, for instance, we drove here, got here Tuesday, go to field work instead of going to the course.
Gotcha.
Especially when you're going to go to the course tired and swollen from a 15-hour drive. I feel like I'd rather get my throw dialed in the field and make sure all my moving parts are moving how I need, and then I can go apply it to the course.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's what I try to do as well, especially when you're changing climates. So different humidities and different altitudes. On the East Coast, we don't change altitude all that much, just barely. But I feel like we change climates a lot, like humidity wise.
Yeah. Going to Idlewild was bad.
Yeah. Idlewild was rough. Very, very slippery. But yeah. So, okay. Early in the week, you get the field work in, and you guys kind of separate your putting practice out. What about workout routines? any workout routines on tour, or just kind of get it in when you can?
That's more of like a get it in when you can. At Vermont, we did more than what we should have, and we were really sore going into the practice days. So it was like, I felt like we didn't get good practice in, especially with like the storms that hit there too. Like the course was shut down for almost 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we're really sore, and the days that we practiced were earlier in the week. So it's like, I just feel like if you're not really consistent like Ezra, it's easy to potentially ruin a practice day or two by being too sore, too tight. So
That's fair. That's the general consensus I've been getting.
Yeah.
I've asked most people this question. I haven't had Ezra on yet, so I haven't asked him. He's gonna be like, "What? I go every day. What
I
do you
don't
mean?"
get sore.
Yeah,
He skips one day a week. I think he does. No, it might be Friday or Saturday.
I don't know, but I'll find out.
He misses 1 day a week. I know this.
Does the workout routine change in the off season?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we do. Like obviously we switched to dynamic this last year, and we did a lot of field work just due to like what discs do we want to throw, what can we trust, what molds are consistent, and what molds fly best for our spin, and workouts. The girls get up so early, John.
I know they used to do a lot of CrossFit stuff.
Yeah,
but
they were big into CrossFit. Yep. So they're very passionate when they do workout. When we do, they're very, don't do it like this, do it like this. But it's good for me because, I used to just run. So when we go and run, I'm that person to them. Or I'm that person that pushes them even more when we go and run.
Gotcha.
And, the off season we work out obviously a lot more.
So I'm still laughing about you saying they get up so early. Like, because it sounds like they wake up early, get coffee, wake you up last minute. You get a cup of coffee and you're like, all right, I guess we're going to work out. Yeah. That's what's happening.
Well, it's like they get up at like 5.
That's gross.
And I'm like, whenever you guys are ready, I might, some days I don't have a good attitude. I'm going to be very real. Not a gym person, but I do it because I know I have to.
Okay.
And they've been up for 2 hours by the time we go. So they're ready for the day, But I'm not much of a morning person.
That's fair. The person whose segment is coming up next, I'm staring at my wife now, by the way. She is not a morning person either. And sometimes in the morning, it's hard to have a good attitude. So she forgives you for sure. She's in the background cheering him on. So with that being said, time for her segment called Steph's Curious Questions. Oh no, I'm not on the right thing. Yeah, she gets her own sound.
I was waiting for the...
No, I could. Steph's Curious Questions. It has a whole different ring to it.
Yeah, different vibe.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we gotta chill with it. All right. If you are new to this segment, which you are, this is basically where I tell Steph who I'm going to have on the podcast this week. She either has a question ready because she's been wanting to know something about them, or she stalks their social media, or, I don't really give her rules for how she comes up with questions. I have no say in the matter. So it's just kind of, it's Steph's Curious
At
Questions.
her own will.
Yep, exactly. You ready for question number 1?
I think I am.
Okay. Question number 1. You and Val do a lot of fun things while traveling. What is one thing y'all have done, besides disc golf, that you wouldn't have been able to do if you weren't traveling?
If we weren't traveling?
If you were not traveling.
We stopped and seen the Niagara Falls. I mean, I guess you can do that with not traveling, but...
Yeah, but it makes it easier when you're driving past it.
Like, I just think like the little stops on the way from place to place. Like we went and played pickleball in Hershey, Pennsylvania on our way down.
That's pretty sweet.
How many people have played pickleball in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Is that like a famous pickleball place or just a random?
Just
a random
happened to be
pickleball
Hershey,
place?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool.
It's one of the fun stops.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'd have to say the Niagara Falls. I mean, I think all us four really enjoyed it, and it's probably one of the most memorable things that we've done, just to its history and beauty.
No, absolutely. Steph and I went there this year for the first time ever as well. So I was by myself when I drove past it last year. I wasn't going to be like, oh, I'm going to go see Niagara Falls by myself. If you do that, I said do. If you go to Niagara Falls by yourself, props. I'm just not that person.
I don't know if I could be that person either.
Yeah. But what, you just take selfies the whole time?
No.
It's so hard to take selfies with
Yeah.
all that water.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So that was a good one. That was really cool to see this year. All right, you ready? Steph, I need you. If you're watching on YouTube, I will put up a picture for this.
Oh my gosh.
Mason?
I saw it.
Yeah, can you tell me what's happening in this picture? And why? Most importantly, why?
So, my grandmother had breast cancer.
Okay.
So we threw together breast cancer awareness, I guess, race attire. So
Fair.
that's what we're doing. And then I feel like everybody's showing their personality in the picture.
That's fair.
You know?
All right.
So it was for my grandmother.
That's
it really
awesome.
meant a lot to me that even everybody had even wanted to do it. So
That's super cool. You guys look wild, but that is very cool. I love that. To describe people, obviously you're on YouTube. You're gonna get to see this picture.
Oh my
but,
goodness.
But to just, he's like, oh my goodness, why? You have it posted publicly.
I do.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's on your Facebook.
Oh my goodness.
So heads up, it's on your Facebook.
Okay.
In this picture, it is the cross country team.
Yeah.
It is cross country team, all wearing pretty short pink shorts and black tank tops. The tank tops are pretty sweet. And then there's a lot of personality in this picture, but I'm going to zoom in real quick on our boy Mason.
I know, we even had the headbands and everything.
Yep. Headbands. That's awesome that I see the ribbons now. The breast cancer awareness. I love that. And then Mason is got, how do you describe that haircut?
The bowl.
Yeah,
It's just a bowl.
It's a legend.
I'll just be real. It's just a bowl.
It's a legendary bowl. It's fantastic. If you are listening on audio, please check out YouTube so you can see this picture. It's glorious. I'm jealous of that.
Be nice
haircut.
to me though.
Oh yeah, like I still think you look good. It's
That's fair.
it's a look.
I probably weigh about the same as in that picture.
No, there's no way. You were teeny tiny in that picture. You're still tiny, but you've got like a little more muscle on you. You probably could have ran way faster when you were in that picture though.
Oh yeah.
That's
way
fair.
faster.
We don't get much running in the disc golf.
Not during the season.
That's fair. I don't get much running in at all. I'm going to be completely honest about that. All right, you've made it 2/3 of the way through Steph's curious questions.
Oh my goodness.
That was the worst of it.
Okay.
That was
good.
really the only one. She saw that picture and had to know. Which I think
Curious
is
question.
exactly. That's it. All right. You're planning a wedding. You're on the road during the tour season. What has been the hardest part of that?
Venues.
Venues. yeah.
Finding the perfect venue. And it's just, I was very skeptical about how hard it is. Because it's like, we're on the road. So hopefully they have like a YouTube flyover or getting a family member to go do the walkthrough. But then again, it's like the family member might have different thoughts than what we think about it. So it's like trying to have them take pictures or this or that. I think that's probably been the hardest thing. Luckily, one of our friends is actually a DJ
Nice.
who does like the Spurs basketball games.
That's super
So
sick.
we have him coming, and then food I feel like is fairly straightforward and not that hard.
Yeah.
It's got to be the venue.
Yeah, that's a tough one. We also planned a wedding while on the road. Well, I was on the road at least. And right after I proposed, I was home for a week and a half. And we went everywhere in that week and a half so that we could see it firsthand. But venues are a tough one. And I can't read my own handwriting. That is a sign of very bad handwriting. Thank God you guys can't see that. Oh, and what are you most looking forward to about being married? Because you guys are going to be married coming up kind of soon.
Yeah, February 2nd, I think, is when we have it. I think, what is my favorite part that I'm looking forward to? I don't know. We pretty much don't go without each other anywhere.
That's fair.
I mean, we're already kind of living it in a way, I guess. We don't go anywhere without each other.
You're like, we're already married.
Pretty much.
I love it. You got to come up with something. I'm putting you on. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to come up
I
with
was
something.
going to say, I don't know.
No, that's fine. You guys travel together. You're with each other every day. So you already have the like major companionship portion of it down.
For sure.
So now it just has to be official. Then you have to put it on Facebook, so it's Facebook official.
Oh my gosh.
And then while you do that, you can go delete that picture that you now know is still there.
Knock them both out.
Perfect. Not until February though.
Oh my goodness.
All right. That is the end of Steph's curious questions. Oh, did you hit the thing?
I did. I hit the guitar.
I hit it earlier. It's just real bad guitar.
I've been trying to hold it. I probably look weird on the video because I'm just holding the cord.
Yeah, if Mason looks weird just holding his cord, it's because he's trying not to make funny noises. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the sacrifice.
For sure.
I've had too much caffeine today, and I'm having much more randomness than I normally do, but I kind of like it because I feel like I'm known for being random. So
You need to play pickleball with us.
I would love to when I get rid of my knee injury.
Oh, that's right.
Every time I see people playing pickleball, I'm like, if I wasn't so old and crippled, I would totally go play pickleball.
I feel so bad for you.
It's all good. We were at Walmart in, this is embarrassing. We were at Walmart in Massachusetts, doing laps because I needed to walk around during the days it was raining. So we were just walking laps around Walmart so we didn't have to be out in the rain. Because my old person body needed to move, and I almost bought a pickleball set.
Oh, see, Val is like a huge shopper. It's like if we go to Walmart, it's a couple-hour thing. It's like we gotta stop. We gotta see everything in the store. It's not just a trip to Walmart. We gotta browse.
That's fair.
That'd be perfect.
I have to restrict Steph's Target visits.
That's us too. We're bad. We're bad at Target.
Target's a dangerous place. The most dangerous place? Costco.
See, we're not too bad with Costco. I feel like Val's way more dangerous at Target. Or like a Hobby Lobby. That's dangerous for her.
Okay.
Hours.
All right. Duly noted. Don't take Val or Steph to a Hobby Lobby or Target unless you aren't willing to spend hours there.
Patience is tested.
All right. So, getting into the questions I ask everybody every week, in order to help beginners or aspiring professionals get better, I ask these two pieces of advice from you. So, what is a piece of advice you would give to players just started disc golf or beginners to get better?
Learn to just spin the disc. When you release the disc, have no wobble. I feel like, just literally learning to spin the disc, whether it's a forehand, a backhand. I remember, this may be kind of weird.
I love that.
When I was learning how to throw a forehand, I would lay on the floor and throw it into the air, trying to make it not wobble and see if I can touch my ceiling.
Interesting.
So it's like, I feel like I was like getting touch and learning to spin it at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
So you were laying on the floor on your stomach?
No, back.
Okay, on your back.
Oh my
and
gosh, imagine.
Okay, and I was very confused.
Yeah, laying on
And
my...
So you were trying to throw up at the ceiling?
Yes,
Okay.
with my regular like forehand grip.
And just barely touch it?
Barely touching. See if I could just like shave an ant off the ceiling.
How damaged was your ceiling?
Not damaged at all.
Okay, that's impressive. I feel like I would like hit it kind of hard at least a few times.
Nothing that was crazy.
Okay, so
We'll say that.
okay, fair.
No holes.
I like that. That's interesting. That's something I've never heard of before.
Yeah, kind of weird. But yeah, just learning to like spin the disc, because I feel like a lot of people throw the disc, but throwing the disc and spinning the disc are way different things.
Very much so. I'm actually, this is a enormous segue, but I'm actually trying to throw the disc more on forehand specifically now than try and spin it, because from all my years of Ultimate, I'm good at like spinning the disc.
Yep.
I don't even have to think about spinning it. But whenever I try to just like throw hard while like doing my like spinning the disc type form, it doesn't go well a lot of the times. So I'm trying to like get a little bit more throwing back into my form. So I'm kind of doing the opposite right now.
You know, and I guess it really depends on what shot you're throwing.
For sure.
Because like overstable discs want to be thrown, not really too much spin, because the more spin you add, the more it's going to want to come out, right? But if you throw it with less spin, it's going to do what an overstable disc does. But like flippy, understable discs want to be thrown.
They need more spin.
They need more spin, and not really to be thrown, but spun on whatever line you're trying to hit. So it's like,
Yep.
I could see that.
Well, I haven't like separated those two things in my forehand before, and I still don't know if it's necessarily a good idea, but I'm kind of separating them now to where when I'm throwing big drives, I'm focusing more on throwing the disc.
Like hit the disc.
Yep. And when I'm throwing my approach shots or things like that, it's almost like my ultimate throw. Like it's not quite. I'm still throwing a disc, not a lid, but I'm much more focused on just spinning it.
For sure.
So it's interesting.
That's why you throw the suspect so well.
I love the suspect so
That's why you
much.
throw it so good.
Get you a suspect. You'll love it. Also, get you a Hybrid X getaway. I'm gonna give you so much more time to plug stuff, because I know you got. I don't even know what all you have, which is awesome.
I almost brought you a criminal.
Ooh,
I had some Lucid Ice criminals that
you
were
have
done.
suspects and criminals too.
Yeah.
You've got.
I'm actually throwing the criminal now. I'd never really thrown it. But it's like, I actually really like it. Like, it's not as overstable as what I thought it was, but it's like, I don't know. Like, felons just kind of feel a little weird to me, I guess, now.
I feel like originally, back when the felon and the criminal were in the lineup, people who liked criminals didn't like felons. People who liked felons didn't like criminals.
I think I'm a criminal guy.
It's a great disc. In 9-speed versus 10-speed, like.
Is a criminal a 10-speed?
I believe so.
Oh,
Don't quote me on it. I haven't seen the numbers in a long time, but I think it's a 10-speed.
I didn't even know that.
Let me know in the comments, because I don't know.
I don't know either. And I throw it.
Yeah, I don't. I will let you guys know that unless pros like just absolutely know what the speed is, we don't typically care what flight numbers are.
That's fair. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can totally agree with that.
People ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, like what flight numbers is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it doesn't say it on it."
Let me Google it quick.
It's like, I don't know.
I'm actually kind of a disc nerd. I'm the person that knows. I just happen to not know this one.
Okay, yeah, 10 something or 9 something. It's
10403.
that sounds like it could be accurate.
Seems legit. Let's just stick with that.
10403. You heard it here first. I love it. All right, now that we completely went off track, that's great advice. Learn how to spin the disc. If you're a beginner, especially, getting clean release and spin on the disc, very important. Great guitar.
Oh, I did it again.
What about a piece of advice for aspiring professional players?
Don't forget why you love the game. And I feel like, especially being burnt out, going to the course, you might not have the motivation. You might not have the... You can just throw a shot but have no meaning behind the shot. And it's really easy to feel like that while on tour, I feel like. So it's like, remember how or why you got started. Remember kind of the chain events of things happening to be where you're at. Look at how far you've came. And just remember why you love disc golf.
That's great. I think it's really easy now for especially pro players, to get burnt out. We have such a long season, and looking back, like some of us don't even take off seasons, especially being from Texas. Like I know a lot of times I've played through the winter, like, and I don't mean just like practice through the winter, like played tournaments,
especially
through the
up by
winter.
Dallas or San Antonio, Austin. There's always something going on.
And I think when you're just traveling through Texas, playing year round I didn't burn out as much.
No,
But then when you're traveling as much as we do, it's a lot easier.
Because you get to, I've done the same thing that you've done. B tier, A tier, B tier, A tier, B tier, A tier. And it's like you get so much experience, especially when it's John, Mason, Connor, Emerson, and Brad all at the same B tier. It's like you might as well be on tour. Just saying. But you get to drive 3 hours home and sleep in your own bed in a place that's comfortable instead of, see loved ones. Instead of, let's drive to Vermont from Kansas.
Fun drive.
29 hours. It's like everybody looks forward to that.
Yeah.
So it's totally different. You get to come back home, drive 3 hours, and then it's like, you get to play with almost the same people every week instead of throwing 150 people in a pool and flipping a coin, rolling the dice.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's that different, but it is that different.
It's totally different.
And you don't realize, Steph said this to me recently, and I said this last year. You don't realize how fast like tour life is until you go on tour and you're like, oh, I thought I had time. You don't have time. It's you're like, oh yeah, we've got so much time to do all the things we need to get done. Oh no, we don't.
Yeah, and then it gets to, oh shoot, we still got to do laundry this week.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's go. Hopefully the RV spot has it.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, you got to find one.
Well, it's not ghetto. Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
There's a lot of sketchy coin laundry places throughout the United States. Yeah, you definitely got to scope it out on the Google. So,
sure. Reviews.
Just FYI, Google reviews for your coin laundry places. Yeah, luckily Steph did our laundry today. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate it. You're amazing.
That's what the girls are doing right now.
Oh, wow.
Well,
aren't we just a misogynistic society right now?
I know. I kind of felt bad.
I felt bad too because I went out and practiced, and she stayed and did laundry. I asked her if she wanted to come with me to practice. She did not.
That's fair.
Okay. We're mansplaining right now.
Yeah, that's kind of bad.
Yeah, we're just gonna segue right into the next section. All right, those are two great pieces of advice. I love both of those, and I feel like both can apply to whoever you are, no matter what your disc golf experience is as well. Sure. All right, this is a new one. I don't have a noise for this one. I suppose I could do one. The fan favorite segment. I made that up. That's not something I've done.
Oh,
but I actually posted in time to get some fan questions for you this week. So we have 5 fan questions. One of them you sort of answered, but you didn't quite. So I'm going to ask that one first. How long into playing disc golf did you get your first ace?
Oh.
You almost all but said
remember.
it was a forehand ace.
It was.
Okay.
Yes. It was 260 feet.
Wow. Very specific.
With a chartreuse champion Archon.
Excellent choice of colors.
Couldn't be a better disc either. And I think I was alone.
All right. So this is an unproven ace.
Very unproven.
Maybe happened, maybe didn't.
I might have screamed
All
or
right.
cried on the tee pad.
In your scrubs?
I don't think I was in my scrubs.
Okay.
I think it was like the dead heat of summer.
Perfect.
Like dead heat. I don't know. It might have been. Honestly, it might have just been a couple months.
All right.
It might have been the same summer when I started.
Perfect. My first ace came when I was complete and utter trash. And I'm
not saying I was good, but
I feel like I used to ace more. Now I ace way less. So, I don't know.
You know, last year I hit a ton. I have 2 this year. That's so bad. I'm sorry, John.
It's just fine. It's the nature of this table.
But you know what? One of the aces this year is probably my coolest ace ever. It was in the Redwoods, at the Redwood Curtain outside of,
nice.
Where is it? Eureka?
I don't-
California?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where it is, but I
it's so
saw
sick.
when y'all were there and I was jealous.
Yeah, and Ezra ruined the video.
Oh, I saw that video and he walks right in front of it.
Yeah, like Sasquatch.
Oh, goodness. Well, Squatch bags. It was perfect.
It was a great throw. Memorable. Never going to forget it.
Yeah. That's so awesome. So we got kind of your favorite ace and your first ace. Bonus. Perfect. All right, now a serious question. How do you find consistency when you aren't in it mentally?
Routine on the course. Or like you were saying, a practice routine. I've been there this year for sure. Because it's hard to stay mentally in it every single week. Even players like Paul, Ricky, you hear Ricky talk about it all the time. It's, I was a mental warrior this week, but then there's weeks where he doesn't play well and you're like, you can't be at 100%, 100% of the time. It's impossible.
No.
So I'd have to say just being consistent in a routine, whether it's practicing, throwing a drive, putting, all of it kind of boils down to staying consistent.
Well, and I'll add just a little bit to that. If you aren't 100% in it mentally, we'll assign a random number. Say you're 80% in it mentally, and you just can't force that 100% out. Be okay with 80%, because if you're not okay with it, it'll just make you angry, and then you won't even perform up to your 80% mentally.
Then it goes to 27%.
Yeah, 27.5%. Yeah, for sure. But yes, if you can't stay consistent, or if you aren't in it fully mentally, be okay with wherever your best is that day, because that's all you're going to be able to get out of it. And it's not like settling, it's just using what you have that day.
Yeah.
And committing to it. Because other than that, it'll be a rough day. And I've turned many of those times into rough days. I've mucho experience at that.
I also feel like just kind of being patient, and knowing like, it's not my time this week, but next week, I'm going to go and, I worked hard this week and didn't get anything out of it. Well, I'm going to go into next week and work even harder, because it's like the time that I put in right now is for a tournament 3 months ahead. So if I have a week or two where I have a bad week, I just need to put more work in. It's kind of goes hand in hand.
Yep. That's the reason your rating has kept doing this.
That's
perfect.
Fair.
Oh, by the way, if you're listening and not watching on YouTube, I just made a hand sign that just kept going upwards. So sometimes I forget that not everybody sees me. It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a real problem. All right. Zach Melton asks, you should be worried when you hear that.
I know. I've been waiting for this one since you told me.
Why is Val taller than you?
This guy.
He did legitimately ask that.
Oh, Zach. She's not taller than me.
All right. You heard it here first. Zach, take that. He's never going to hear that. I'm going to have to.
I'm totally fine with that.
I'm going to bring it up to him. Perfect.
I thought it was going to be worse than that.
No, it's really not. For a Zach question, that's really not bad.
That's very straightforward for Zach.
Yeah, very, very strange. He must have been off his game or tired.
Hopefully he's tired.
Yeah, there you go. All right. What part of your game do you believe you need to improve the most going forward?
I'm really bad at flex shots.
Backhand and forehand?
Forced. Honestly, I think I'd have to say my forehand flex shot is better than my backhand flex shot.
Okay.
I feel like I'm so much better at hitting an understable disc flat at it and making it turn by itself. But I've really realized that on tour, there's shots where you can't throw that style shot because you needed to cut and dive back, or just have the disc run out of spin and land in soft so it doesn't get that skip.
Yep.
Or just, like I just said, hitting that disc on the Anheuser and let it run out of spin and land softer. I'm not good at throwing forced flex, like Nico style flexes. Not my thing.
I feel like we're polar opposites in that, because I feel like I'm good at forcing flexes, and then I'm not as comfortable hyzer flipping stuff accurately, unless it's like for distance. But then at that point, like, who knows? You have bigger landing zones most of the time.
See, but then I guess it goes back to the spinning the disc or throwing the disc thing. It's like I'm better at spinning the disc, throwing understable stuff and flipping up and late turning, stuff like that. But throwing over stable stuff, I really don't care to.
Gotcha.
Like if I could throw an evader or a getaway or an explorer, I'd way rather do that than throw a defender, enforcer, something that I have to throw hard.
Yeah.
I'd rather just spin a fairway and get almost the same distance as I would, like 40 feet less.
Yeah.
But that's also why I'm not good at throwing flex shots. So,
Well, there you go. You throw so far though. Like, I'm actually surprised every time I see you throw a distance shot, because you're just like, and it's so. I just mimed that, by the way. It's so effortless. It was a terrible mime. It was probably your like beginner backhand form, and it just goes so far. Like bringing up Music City again, hole 18 at Music City in 2021. Like that is a big hyzer. That is not a small hyzer, and like it looked so easy. I watched you do it several times, and it just looked so easy. And I'm getting up there and I'm like gritting my teeth trying to throw as hard as I can on hyzer to get it over that thing. And like, so it surprises me every time.
I'm going to be very honest. I never practiced that shot.
You're insane.
When we went and played it, we practiced it with Paul. And it was so windy.
It was really windy in practice.
I just never threw it. And then when we were in the third round, I think I laid up.
Wow.
So I don't think I ever
practiced it
Ever practiced it.
before you just did it. That's wild.
That is kind of wild.
To tie Ricky and then beat him on the next hole, the playoff hole. But yeah.
If there was a hole I was going to win, it was going to be that hole. Just saying.
Hole 1?
Yeah. The little touch shot.
Yep.
I got that all day.
Yeah, you're like, that's me.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm up.
That's how I collect all my wins in Texas. Touch.
Yeah.
Touch everywhere, baby.
On a janky hole.
I love it. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize this. This brings us to the last fan question. Do you think Texas disc golf is the best of all states?
No. No way.
I agree with you, but
I
it was
definitely
just funny.
can't say yes. I feel like in Texas, there's a tree above every basket. So it's like, oh, let me just throw it into this tree and it'll fall to the basket. Or you have the players to where they're playing like a slide to the basket, landing the disc flat or skipping something crazy. Like when I think of Freddie Mesa,
Who's been on fire lately.
I think that's like Freddie's game, Like Texas style golf is like fits it so perfect. But no, I don't think Texas has the best golf.
Okay. All the Texans are going to be mad at you.
That's fine.
I do agree with you, though. There's a lot of people in Texas who, well, everybody knows this. There's a lot of people in Texas who thinks Texas has the best everything. It was horrible grammar. I don't know how I said it, but I don't think it was right. Texas is good at a lot of things. Disc golf courses, there are some good ones, but when you go to places like Smuggler's Notch or the courses up in Oregon or the Redwood Curtain, there are some insane courses out there.
You know what, though? There is a new course in Texas that it's private. It's called The Ranch.
The Ranch.
It's in Welder, Texas, about an hour from Universal City where I live.
Okay.
And I think it's the best course in Texas.
Interesting.
A guy named Adam Case owns the property. And I've been out there 2-3 times. Definitely could hold a pro tour. I think it's over 10,000 feet.
Wow.
Par 67, par 66, something like that. Absolutely. If in the off season, if you ever want to come down and play it,
I'm going to now.
let me know, because it is like I feel like it's a must play that
Okay.
nobody knows about. It's been
I've
open
never
for
heard of it.
They've had a couple like, I think they're trying to get an A tier there. I think they've had a couple B tiers and stuff there that Freddie won, of course. But absolutely beautiful piece of property.
Okay. I'll have to check that out. The Ranch. Well, awesome. That is the end of my questions.
Oh no.
Oh no, we're done. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. But before you go, is there anything you want to plug, or where can people find and support you on your disc golf journey?
So I'm having a new Tour Series disc come out with dynamic discs. I don't know the exact date, but it'll be an Orbit Getaway. And then Val is having her Fusion X Burst Trespass come out.
That's sweet.
I'm assuming the same time that mine will be, but I don't know if I've ever been more excited for a disc to release. And like the Getaway is by far one of my favorite fairways out of ever throwing any fairway driver. And I know Val feels the same about her Trespass. I've never been more excited for a disc to release.
That is so awesome.
I wish I had a date, but I don't.
Well, head to dynamicdisc.com. Discs. If you type in dynamic disc, it does not take you to the right website.
You'll get nothing.
Dynamicdiscs.com. Look at their upcoming release calendar. So if you keep an eye on that, it'll probably tell you when his disc is coming out and Val's disc is coming out before anyone else. With new releases in mind, I am actually dropping it's not this Nicholson shirt, but I have a new Nicholson apparel lineup coming out tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Monday. Pre-orders will be open on Monday. So if you go to johnnicholsondg.square.site, I will post that in the notes. You can check out that. And if you want to grab something, it would be much appreciated. With that being said, I got to say one more thing before we close it out.
What do you got?
And I need your help.
Oh, no.
I would like to purchase another microphone. Steph has told me, I'm going to look right at the camera so I can do this put an Instagram excerpt out there. My wife, Steph, has told me that I need 1,000 followers on the podcast Instagram page in order for me to be allowed to buy a new microphone. I think you guys should all indulge me and follow my new Instagram account at the Disc Golf Prescription and get me to 1,000 followers so that I am allowed to buy a new microphone. Mason agrees. I
totally agree.
He's nodding his head.
Yep.
So if you follow me there, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, I think that's it. We've had a lot of fun tonight. Thank you once again for joining me. Yeah. Thank you all for listening and watching. We have listeners, on YouTube, I guess they have to listen and watch. But thank you guys who just listened too.
It'd be weird if you watched and didn't listen.
It's a view. I'll take it. But thank you to everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Mason, it was a lot of fun talking to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I will see you out on the course. It's USDGC week, baby.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's head on out of here. That was very Texan.
Oh, yeah, it was.